Hey guys, it's our seventh instructional video for Math 1. Wow, I can't believe we're already 7 lessons into this whole thing. I feel like it was just yesterday when we just found out that school is closing, but also feels like it's been forever. So, what the heck. Hopefully you guys are doing well. We are so close to finishing up our third week of online learning, and the weekend is before you. You guys are doing a great job. Thank you for those who have been joining me on live sessions that happen Tuesday and Thursday from 9:30 to 11:30. I just started using Google Hangouts this week, and that was really fun. I'm looking forward to seeing more of you in our live sessions. That being said, I also know that I gave out mini QPA 1 and 2, so that is your main focus. You want to get that done by today, by this week. Let's try our best to get that done. That way I can give you feedback. We can work on it together. We can schedule one-on-one hangout sessions so I can make sure that you know what you're doing, okay? Try to get those done as soon as possible. Outside of that, I don't have any other updates, so let's begin. Make sure you either have your notebook, your own packet, or your computer out with you when you follow along, and let's begin. I'm going to share my screen now. Cool. So let's begin. All right, today we're going to be continuing our best fit line. This time we're going to add some little algebra, some equations into our lesson. So today our objective is we can create an equation based on a best fit line for a scatter plot. So if you're like, Miss M, I don't remember what a best fit line is, then one, you can check out my video from Wednesday, and two, I will do a quick review for you now. So whatever I write in red, you don't have to write it. If I write in purple, I switched it from blue because I heard it was hard to see. I'm gonna say if I write it in purple, you gotta write it down with me, or that's important for notes. Okay, but just quick review for our best fit line. Basically, if there's a scatter plot with data points, right, a bunch of data, it's really hard to decide, like, okay, like let's say around this point of the graph, like what is our data? Like it's really hard to guess or make a really good guess. That's why we use a linear model. If you notice, the trend looks like a linear model, right? It kind of goes in a linear direction. It's like straight, you know? We know the trend is positive as well. In this case, right, if I was to draw a best fit line, I'm gonna use this blue star shaped color marker. I would draw the line right in the middle, just like that. That is my best fit line. Basically, best fit lines are lines that you use to cut through the data. The line should be right in the middle with cutting the data points equally, and it should follow the trend of the data points. If you do get stuck, please check Wednesday's video. I do go over this, and also, so that'll be lesson number 6. Please check out lesson number 6. Now I'm gonna move on ahead. So we're looking at this graph, right? So basically this graph, what is this graph about? You can see here that our graph is about hours spent studying. That's our independent variable. This is our score on final exams. That's our dependent variable, right? Our scatter plot, if we're talking about the trend, we notice that it's positive. And if we're talking about the strength, I would say it's moderate, right? It's medium. Now, we know how to describe the scatter plot now. Basically, it's telling you the more you study, the higher score you're gonna get. Now, at this point, you could tell here the last number is 10, right? So if you study 10 hours, it says that you should get 100%. Now what I wanna do is basically guess. What if I studied 4 hours? Based on this graph, if I study for 4 hours, what percent am I going to get on my test score? In order to make those predictions, in order to make basically predictions on unobserved data, on data that we've already collected, we want to use our best fit line to do it. So Miss M, you're probably like, Miss M, you already been talking for too long. Like, what do you mean best fit line? What do you mean about this, predictions and stuff like that, right? Let me show you. So basically, let's say, right, for this line, we're saying this line is a decent representation of our data, right? We're gonna say that whatever point is on that line is basically like a good guess for what our data is telling us. In order to make those predictions, though, we want to be able to calculate, right? So when we want to calculate, we're going to use our linear equation, all right? Let's say, for example, that, sorry, before I begin, if you don't remember quite what the linear equation is, please click on the video link. I have it right here. And I have the Spanish version here as well. That's gonna give you a good idea what y equals mx plus b means, all right? I will also make a separate video on slope because I can see how that might be really confusing in the context of a scatter plot. But I'm just gonna walk through how I would solve this, and hopefully if you have any questions that you will feel comfortable asking me through the comments or by messaging me directly. So what I gotta do, if I wanna find the equation for this line, that's basically what I'm doing here. What's the equation for this line that I see here on this graph? We gotta find the y-intercept, the slope, and then create the equation. So just a quick review, right? Y is our dependent variable, X is our independent variable, M is our slope, and B is our y-intercept. Okay, so let's see. Now, if I want to find the y-intercept, basically I just need to look at the y-axis. Where does the line cross the y-axis? So in this case, if the y-axis is pink, right, that's our y-axis. Where does our red line cross the y-axis? So we know right here, it crosses at 50. So we could say that our y-intercept, where the best fit line crosses the y-axis, basically our B is 50. Okay, so since I wrote this in purple, that if you were copying down your notes, you would put that answer there. Now we're talking about slope. Slope is a little bit trickier. To find slope, slope is basically what? Rise over run. It's the rate of change for y over the rate of change for x. The way I'm going to write that is with a triangle. That's the symbol for change. Change over y, change over x. Okay. So if that's the case, how do I find slope here? The way you want to do it is I'm going to make a t-table, a t-chart basically. So I would say x, y, and then I'm going to give room for 2 points. So you got to find 2 points. In this case, I'm going to use our y-intercept. It's always the easiest to use that point. And I'm going to find another point that's on the graph. Now, you do not have to use a data point, okay? You don't have to use the purple points on the graph. You want to find a point that's on the red line. Okay, you want to use a point that's from your best fit line because you're trying to find an equation for your best fit line. So don't worry. At this point, pretend like the data points aren't even there. You're just literally looking at the line, okay? So in this case, I'm going to use this point here at 4. So I see that the line crosses here. So that's going to be 470. And I'm going to use the point 050. Okay. Then I gotta find the change. So how do we change it by? So in this case, 50 plus 70 is 20. This one is plus 4. So I know that my rate of change for y is this one. And I know that my rate of change for x is this one. So my slope, M stands for slope, is going to be 20 over 4, or basically 5 over 1. Okay. that case, then I know I'm going to switch to my purple pen. B is going to be 5/1. Now that I have these two numbers, I could basically write my equation. So I know that y is equal to 5/1x plus 50. All right. Take a moment, let that sink in a little bit. If you do have questions about slope, like I said, I will have a quick video going over that with you. And you can check that out for lesson number 7 on Google Classroom. Now let's turn to the next page. You're looking at your practice problems, all right? Please click on those links. Those links are not there for show. I want you to go and practice these math skills, because as much as I give you these packets, like, you really need to practice them, because math is definitely like basketball. You need to practice to get good at it. So please do those. I'm going to go over number 2 with you guys, but before that, please pause the video. Pause. Try this on your own. Basically, you're trying to create an equation for this line right here. Oh, that's a horrible line, Miss Sam. You're trying to find the equation for this line that I highlighted, okay? So pause the video, find those lines. If you know what to do, please do your best. Think about the steps you would take. A lot of math is problem solving, okay? Like, what's the first thing you got to look for, right? What's the first thing you got to look for? I broke it down, the steps for you, so that you should have a good start. Okay, pause the video. I'm gonna wait a little bit. All right. So hopefully, if you are still watching this, you had paused the video, did the problem, and now you're unpausing it, and now I can go over it with you and see if you got this right. So I'm trying to find on the scatter plot, I'm going to create an equation for this line of best fit. The first thing I would want to do is I'm going to find my y-intercept, right? Because that's the first thing that I'm going to do. What is my y-intercept? It is wherever the line crosses the y-axis. My y-axis is right here, right? So where does the line cross the y-axis? I notice that it crosses at 8. So I know that my y-intercept is going to be 8. Okay, then I'm going to find slope. I'm going to make my t-chart, make 2 points. I know one of them could be my y-intercept, and I'm going to find another point. Luckily for this graph, I have a point here. That is going to be 6. What is that? 4. Okay, I'm going to write that down. I'm going to find the change. This is -4, and that's +6. Make sure you got your signs correct, because it's going to make a difference. And I know that my slope is going to be change of y over change of x. So that's going to be that. And that's going to be that. So my equation is going to be -4/6. Yes. And then that means that my slope is actually -2/3. Indeed. Did I get that right? I think so, yeah. +6, yep. That's my slope. And if I see here, it's a negative sign, right? Does that make sense? Of course it does. If you look at the scatter plot, what's the trend? It's a negative trend. It's a negative slope. Your slope should be negative. Now that I know that, I got my answer. Basically, B is 8. M is -2/3. So I'm going to write out my equation, my formula. Don't touch the y or the x. It's going to be -2/3x plus 8. That is my equation. All right, so hopefully you guys were able to do this. If you just go step by step, find a y-intercept, find a slope, then plug it in to the equation. Plug M and B into formula, then you should be good to go. You should finish problems number 3 to 5 and do the exit ticket. Please, one note I do want to make is that double check your scale. Not everything goes up by ones, so make sure to, ooh, what happened to my drawing? Double check the scale, basically how your axes are numbered, because that makes a difference. All right, so first thing first, make sure you had finished your mini QPAs. If you have any questions, please let me know. 2, do practice problems. And exit ticket, and turn that in. And 3, check out the resources section on Google Classroom. I have videos on common mistakes, which is totally okay. And then I have a video on slope. Okay. Mini QPAs are due on 4/3, so that is today. Try to get it done today, Friday, because that way I can give you feedback, make sure you guys are doing it correct. We can like schedule one-on-one meetings if you need me, right? I need you guys to at least get started on it so you guys have an idea of what to do and I can help you. If you don't start, I can't help. If you don't finish, I can't give you feedback, all right? Make sure you guys get this done. This packet, you want to get it done by the following Friday, so what is that? That's going to be the 10th. So you want to get this done on the 10th. And then checking out the resources, that's up to you. But that's it for me today. Hopefully you guys are doing well as always. I know that this is all new for you guys, but we got to adapt, got to adapt to our situation and do our best. Hopefully math was impossibly easy. And yeah, be well. Bye.